Hey everyone, welcome to the Deep Dive, where we, take a deep dive into all sorts of things that can help us, become better versions of ourselves. And today we're tackling something that I think is particularly relevant for Gen Z. Self-awareness.
Absolutely.
It sounds, I don't know, maybe a little bit heavy at first.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's actually like this superpower, especially when it comes to breaking those unhealthy patterns we all have.
It really is.
So we're diving into all of that today, and I'm so excited to have our expert here to guide us through it.
Happy to be here.
Gen Z is facing a lot these days, from figuring out careers to relationships, not to mention the whole mental health thing.
It's a lot.
So how does self-awareness even fit into all of this? Like, what does it actually mean to be self-aware?
Well, imagine, have you ever felt like you're just on autopilot?
Oh my gosh, yes.
You're just going through the motions, not really in control of your thoughts, your feelings, your actions.
Like scrolling through social media for hours, even though I have a million things to do.
Oh, exactly. That's what it feels like to lack self-awareness. But when you're self-aware, you can step back. You observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment.
So it's like hitting the pause button on that autopilot mode.
Precisely.
And actually taking the wheel.
And that's when you can start to break free from those unhealthy patterns.
Okay, so that's the goal here, to break free. But first, we need to know what we're dealing with. What are some of these unhealthy patterns we should be looking out for?
They can be sneaky.
I bet.
But one common one is blaming others for conflicts.
Ooh, yeah.
It's easier to point fingers than to take responsibility.
It's so much easier, but probably not helpful in the long run.
Right. Another pattern is that inner critic, the voice that says, you're not good enough, smart enough, whatever enough.
It's like having a troll living in your head.
It can really hold you back.
Okay, so blaming others and negative self-talk. What else?
Avoiding challenges because you're terrified of failing.
Ah, yes. The fear of failure.
It might feel safe at first, but it stops you from growing.
So we've got some patterns to watch out for. But how do we actually break them?
That's where things get really interesting. There are things we can do to shift these patterns and make positive changes.
Okay, I'm all ears.
One powerful technique is mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
You've probably heard of it.
Oh, yeah. I've tried those meditation apps, but my brain just won't quiet down.
I hear you. The key with mindfulness is to notice those thoughts without getting carried away by them.
So not necessarily about stopping the thoughts altogether.
Exactly. More about acknowledging them, like watching clouds drift by.
Okay, I can try that. What else?
Regular reflection is another game changer.
Reflection.
Yeah, like journaling. Or just taking a few minutes each day to think about your day.
Like a mental debrief.
Exactly. Ask yourself, what went well? What were some challenges? What did I learn?
I like that.
It helps you spot patterns and areas where you might want to make changes.
Okay, so mindfulness and reflection.
Now, this next one can be a little tough.
Oh.
But it's important. Ask for feedback from people you trust.
Wait, I actually ask people to critique me?
It can be scary.
What if they say something I don't want to hear?
That's a possibility. But we all have blind spots. Sometimes others can see things in us that we can't see ourselves.
So it's about getting a different perspective.
Exactly.
And hopefully not just getting my ego bruised.
Choose people whose opinions you value. And ask for honest feedback on your strengths and areas for improvement.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all of this connects. Mindfulness, reflection, feedback, they all help us see those unhealthy patterns more clearly.
It all comes full circle.
So what other tools do we have in our self-awareness arsenal? Okay, so mindfulness, reflection, feedback, those are some powerful tools.
And we're not done yet.
There's more.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it on.
This next one is all about the way you talk to yourself.
Oh, you mean like positive affirmations? Like
Yeah.
standing in the mirror and telling myself I'm awesome?
Well, not quite. It's more about becoming aware of that inner voice you have.
Well, it's always chatting away in my head.
Exactly. Is it supportive? Or is it kind of a jerk?
Mine can be pretty brutal.
That's what we call negative self-talk. And it's a big pattern that can really hold you back.
Okay, so how do I get rid of it? Do I just tell that inner critic to shut up?
It's a bit more nuanced than that. First, you have to notice those negative thoughts.
Become aware of them.
Right. Then you can start to challenge them and replace them with more positive ones.
So instead of saying I'm such a failure, I can say something like, okay, I messed up, but I can learn from this.
Exactly.
It's like giving myself a pep talk.
But a genuine one. One that's based on reality.
This is like retraining my brain to be on my team.
Exactly.
I love it. All right, what's the last tool?
Last but not least, let's talk about breaking those knee-jerk reactions.
Oh, you mean like when someone cuts me off in traffic and I just lose it?
Exactly. Or when your Wi-Fi goes out.
And I want to throw my laptop out the window.
Those reactions, they can be so damaging.
To myself and my poor laptop.
The key is to create space between the trigger and your response.
So pause before I react.
Even just for a few seconds.
Take a breath.
It gives you a chance to choose a more constructive response.
So I'm not just reacting on autopilot.
Precisely.
Okay, I can see how that would be helpful. So we've covered mindfulness, reflection, feedback, changing our self-talk, and breaking those visceral reactions.
5 powerful tools.
It's amazing how it all ties together.
It does.
But you know what I'd love to hear? Some real-life examples.
I thought you might say that.
Stories of people who have actually used these tools to change their lives.
All right, let's talk about Bob.
Bob,
Bob was feeling stuck in his career.
I think we've all been there,
He felt like he wasn't reaching his potential.
but he didn't know why.
Through some reflection, he realized he had a habit of blaming others when things went wrong at work.
Oh, so he wasn't taking responsibility for his own actions.
Exactly.
That's tough to admit.
It is, but it was holding him back.
So what did he do?
Once he became aware of this pattern, he started to own his mistakes.
And focus on solutions.
It wasn't easy at first,
I bet.
but his colleagues started to see him as more reliable.
And accountable.
He started to feel more confident, too.
So just that one shift in perspective made a big difference.
It really did.
Wow. Okay, so Bob tackled the blame game. What about Monique?
Monique realized she was way too critical of herself,
Oh, that inner critic again.
especially after making mistakes.
Yeah, we can be so mean to ourselves.
It was eroding her confidence, making it hard for her to move forward.
So how did she break free from that negative self-talk?
She started paying attention to her thoughts. She realized she was using really harsh words to describe herself.
Like what?
Words like failure, stupid, worthless.
Ouch.
So she started challenging those thoughts, reframing them in a more positive way.
So instead of saying, I'm such an idiot, she would say, okay, I messed up, but I can learn from this.
Exactly.
She became her own best friend.
It changed her whole mindset.
And what happened?
Her confidence grew. Her relationships improved. She started taking risks.
That's incredible. Okay, one more story.
Bridget.
She
was avoiding challenges because she was afraid of failing.
I think a lot of us can relate to that.
She had this belief that if she didn't try, she couldn't fail.
But that kept her stuck in her comfort zone.
It did.
So how did she overcome that fear?
She realized that her fear of failure was actually a fear of not being good enough.
That's deep.
It was a big realization for her.
So then what?
She started challenging those negative beliefs. She focused on building her self-confidence.
How?
She started small, set tiny goals that felt achievable.
Baby steps.
Each success boosted her confidence.
It showed her that she could handle challenges.
Exactly.
What a journey. These stories are so inspiring. They show that self-awareness isn't just some abstract idea.
It's a tool we can use to make real changes.
I'm feeling pretty motivated right now.
I'm glad to hear that.
But I think it's important to remember that this is a journey, not a destination.
Absolutely.
It's not like we become self-aware overnight and we're done.
It's a lifelong process.
With ups and downs.
And challenges.
But the rewards are worth it.
Definitely.
I'm really struck by something. You know how important self-awareness is for Gen Z? Especially when it comes to, like, the workplace.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like everyone has the skills on paper. But what really sets you apart?
It's those soft skills, self-awareness, communication, being able to work in a team, and being resilient.
Those are huge.
Especially when things get tough.
So it's not just about feeling better. It's about performing better, too.
It all connects.
This is like the ultimate life hack.
I think so.
And it's not just work, relationships too, right?
Self-awareness helps you build stronger connections, communicate better, even navigate conflict.
Okay, I'm convinced. Self-awareness is the key to everything.
It really is a game changer.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one thing you want our listeners to remember?
That they have the power
Yeah.
to create the life they want. And it starts with self-awareness.
By understanding ourselves.
Our thoughts, our feelings, we can break free from those patterns that are holding us back.
That's powerful.
It's a journey. Be patient with yourselves. Celebrate your progress, even the small wins,
Every step counts.
towards becoming the best version of yourself.
So, to all our amazing Gen Z listeners, embrace self-awareness. Start small. Be kind to yourselves. And never stop exploring who you are and what you're capable of.
We believe in you.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. We hope you enjoyed this journey, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into something awesome.